Party used to believe in reform. Now they believe in starving the NHS of cash and failing to provide any reform. Her own manifesto in 2010 said to...
Order! We must hear the response from the Deputy Prime Minister.
Indeed. Her own manifesto said, to safeguard the NHS in tougher fiscal times, we need sustained reform. The Labour Party was right then and is wrong now. What happened?
Harriet Harman.
We are proud of what Labour did when we were in government. More doctors, more nurses, lower waiting times, greater patient satisfaction. And, Mr. Speaker, no one believes him. No wonder he can't convince those who work in the health service. He can't even convince his own conference. Doesn't he realise that people are still against this bill because it hasn't changed one bit? It's still a top-down reorganisation.
Order. I said a moment ago that the Deputy Prime Minister's response must be heard. The question from the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party will be heard. That's the be-all and end-all of it. Harriet Harman.
This bill is still a top-down reorganisation. It's still going to cost the NHS a fortune, and it's still going to lead to fragmentation and privatisation. It's clear the Deputy Prime Minister won't stand up for the NHS. The only thing he stands up for is when the Prime Minister walks in the room.
Mr. Speaker, some of her colleagues must think the Liberal Democrats make a difference because they were handing out leaflets at our conference in Gateshead, while her leader was throwing a sickie and going to watch Hull City play football instead. She says she's proud of their record. Is she proud of the fact that her government spent £250 million of taxpayers' money on sweetheart deals with the private sector, which didn't help a single NHS patient? Is she proud of the fact that under the 2006 Act, which her friend there worked on, it was a privatisers' charter in which her government offered an 11% premium on the private sector to undercut the NHS? Is she proud of that?
We will compare what our government did.
Order. Some members, perhaps not initiated in the proceedings of Prime Minister's questions, are yelling answer. I remind the House that in these matters the Prime Minister or the Deputy Prime Minister does the answering. That's the situation. Harriet Harman.
We'll compare what our government did on the NHS with what his government is doing any day. And he says the problem with this bill is that doctors and nurses just don't understand it. But the problem is that they do. However, even at this late stage, it's within his power to stop this bill. Next Monday, the bill reaches its final stage in the House of Lords. There are 90 Lib Dem peers. Their votes will decide whether or not this bill becomes law. Will he instruct Shirley Williams and his peers to vote to stop the bill?
Mr. Speaker, the Right Honourable Lady has invited me to make a comparison. Let me make 3 comparisons.
Order. I say it again. The response must be heard. And that's all there is to it. The Deputy Prime Minister.
The Right Honourable Lady has invited me to make comparisons. Let me make 3 comparisons.